Thank you for tuning in again. My name is Emmanuella Awobu. I'm a licensed clinical professional counselor based in the United States. I own and run Bright Future Community Health Care Services, where we deal with behavioral health, mental illness, treating with therapy, different types of therapies and medication when necessary. I wanted to focus on eating disorder today just because I did get a question about eating disorder and the relationship that has with social media, and I think it's important for us, to just visit that. Before we go there, I just want to relate a little bit talking about me. I know that for me, one of the things I had to do in my journey into weight loss was to not eat with the TV on, because I realized that for me, when I watch TV and I have a bowl of food, the tendency to finish it is higher. So I started to take that away, focus on food, and then move on to something else. And I realized I fill up faster and I eat less. And it's been helping me as I journey through this. Now, eating disorder, there are several types of eating disorder. The DSM-5 has 6 listed. However, there are other little ones here and there that are also considered eating problem. I wanted us to understand what eating disorder itself is, especially in the African culture. In the developed countries, eating disorder has been identified. There's a lot of attention to it. There's a lot of treatment to it. But in African countries, especially in developing African countries, like in Nigeria, for instance, this is not something that has a lot of attention to it, but it is a problem. I want us to start with pica. Pica is a type of eating disorder where the person who's suffering from it crave non-food objects. So for instance, ice. Even though eating disorder itself mostly has food or eating attached to it, it's not just about food. It could also be a serious mental illness. It could also be a serious mental disorder that sometimes might require hospitalization, sometimes might require medication. So it's nothing to be taken lightly, because people have died from it. People are dying from it. So talking about pica, people suffering from pica can also be an indication of an underlying problem. What do I mean by that? Sometimes people come and complain, oh, I'm always eating ice, I don't know why. See, because for mental health, to treat it is comprehensive. You have to get a balance, you have to get a foundation of the person's history. You also have to find out the medical history of that person, because sometimes, even though someone might be in front of you presenting with all the different mental illnesses, it might be more than that. In terms of what's the most popular eating disorder, I want to say that a lot of studies have been done on anorexia, a lot of studies have been done on bulimia, but because not as much studies have been done on pica, therefore it would be unfair for me to say bulimia or anorexia are the most popular. The thing about it is all types of eating disorder, there exist. And depending on the view of the culture, that's how you know what is popular and what is not. And relating that, even to social media back again, for someone who suffers from anorexia, which is an obsession to thinness, to body weight. So sometimes you starve yourself, because your self-esteem is affected and you want to look a certain way. This could be an effect. This could have a genesis from just interacting in social media. And then you have all these models or how the society expects you to look. Your obsession can start from that. And before you know it, it's out of hand and it's too compulsive even for you to take a break. Bulimia can also be a popular one. Why? Because people who suffer from this kind of eating disorder, they eat and then they purge, but it's still all about body image. It's still all about how the world wants you to look, which can be influenced by what you see on social media. Anytime you're engaged in a situation or in an action where, 1, you are hiding to do it, 2, you're preoccupied doing it, 3, you're spending more time doing it than you would do with other things. So for instance, if you used to go to parties with your friend, but now you don't want to go, you just want to sit in one place and eat and do all that, or somebody somewhere, your friends, your family have mentioned to you, you might want to slow down this. You've thought about slowing down, but you can't, you're struggling with it, then there's a problem. Then that's time to seek help, time to talk to someone. The most important thing, the way to get better, the way to start the journey of getting better, because generally disorders, regardless of what it is a journey. Sometimes it's a journey through life. It's like addiction. It's a journey. You go through it through life. Once you've had an issue with addiction, you have to go through life putting yourself in check all the time, doing your checkups, being around positive environment to make sure that you don't relapse or go back. So even with eating disorder, you can relapse, and there are relapses, which means more than one episode of you going back to old ways. So there are several things involved in healing. One of the most important things in treatment is community, is support system. So once you identify that there's a problem, if you don't have specialists where you are, you at least have general medical doctors. You can actually talk to your doctor about what's going on. And your doctor, who is like a general practicing doctor, general medicine, can now refer you to the right person. Everybody goes to a doctor. Going to the doctor doesn't have a taboo with it. Going to the doctor doesn't have stigmatization to it. So maybe because of culture and shame and all that, you might want to start with that. If you're someone who's genuinely interested in helping a loved one, a friend, a family member who you think might have a problem with food or their relationship with food, you also need to talk to someone. And of course, I'm always here as a resource. You can DM me, you can reach me on Facebook, on Instagram, and then we can move forward and work together on a plan that will work. I hope you found this episode quite informative, and I also hope that you exploit me as a resource. And don't forget, every day that you wake up is an opportunity to make things work. Talk to you.